What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of God Concept. Your host, Mr. Pagan. I've been figuring a lot of things out, man. I've been figuring a whole lot of things out about the system that we living under, about the lay of the land, about the people that we subject to living under. It's early in the morning, so you gotta excuse me, man. I'm still trying to get all my thoughts together. I actually had the I had the thought of making this podcast the other day after an episode that I made. You know, if I would have made this episode yesterday, that would have been 2 in 1 day, and that's stretching it. You know, I got to get my rest. I got to have time to think. I got to have time to process, because a lot of this information that I've been previewed to, that I've been enlightened with, is not easy information to compile or stumble across. But certain things get revealed to you. You know what I mean? Certain things get revealed to you in your spiritual intelligence. You know what I mean? A lot of people talk about emotional intelligence. A lot of people, talk about different types of intelligence. You know, you got scientific knowledge. You got spiritual knowledge, which is often the best knowledge for you personally. You have emotional intelligence, where you control your emotions on a certain level. At times when many can't. But this information, it takes spiritual intelligence to see. It not only take that, it take situational awareness. It's this information that I come up with is gathered based on me stepping back from the big picture and noticing what I'm looking at. Notice what I'm living through. Notice the dichotomy that we all living under, and having a strong theocracy within myself. Within myself, I got to maintain a strong theocracy to really understand this and really have the drive to keep going. You know what I mean? Walking this path, walking this road is not something that I'm doing just for me. It's not. I'm actually doing it for all of us. You know what I mean? The journey that I've taken, the things that the knowledge that I've accumulated, the things that I've learned. I'm not just learning this stuff for me. It's not just for me. I'm not just walking this path for myself and my children. I'm walking this path for a lot of you out there who may not understand or might not have the vision that a lot of us have. You know what I mean? A lot of us have to go through some harsh things before we could acquire certain knowledges. A lot of us lash out at people, at society, because they don't know how to process the information that they find out. A lot of us go out and hurt loved ones, or they hurt themselves, because they don't know how to deal with the information that they found out. Or they look at the information that they found out and they internalize it to the point where it's just about them and their problems, when really it's much bigger than us. It's a much bigger enemy that we face. You know, it's not an easy road to walk. It's not easy coming into this knowledge. It's not easy living life. And all of us stumble, and we try, and we get back up, dust ourselves off, and keep it pushing, and try to, do what's best for us in our life. Where do we begin? I want to begin here. This land was Turtle Island before it was America. Or even if it wasn't Turtle Island. I wasn't around back then that far. I don't know what they like to call this landmass. But this landmass had a name. before it was America. We had people abroad from that came to this land, to this mainland where we live at today, to populate, to cultivate, to commune with one another, to steal, to rob, to pillage. And a lot of that's what happened. I listened to all the information, and you know, I built my own Tower of Babel basically, because I'll compile information from here, from there, and then I'll put together what makes sense to me, not just out of my own research, not just out of the things that I found out in my everyday life, but I'll take information that I was given by people, by other people out there living their life and living their truth and figuring things out for themselves. And I might not have had a one-on-one conversation with anybody about this, but when the information is given online, wherever it's given at, on social media, when that information is discerned and when that information is deciphered, it gives you a clear message. It gives you a clear point of context. It gives you a clear concept of what's actually going on out here and what system is actually at play. It's above the concept of slavery. What we're dealing with here is above the concept of mere slavery. What we're dealing with here is a harvesting. What we're dealing with here is a harvesting of your energy and your time. The time is given, no doubt. The time is given. At times we feel good, at times we feel sad. But the energy, it ties into a past video that I did not too long ago about how they can control your energy with these devices that they have, active denial systems that they have in place. Now, I don't want to go back too much. I want to stay right here. I want to stay right here about the time and the energy. Because a lot of us think that gatekeepers are people that just hold you back from the things that you want to do, whether you want to act, whether you want to sing, whether you want to dance, whether you want to, whatever it is in your life. You have gatekeepers, right, that they talk about. These gatekeepers, I'm going to refer to them as, I like to refer to myself as a shepherd amongst sheep, right? A lot of times, right? But the gatekeepers are the ones to block or to inhibit, to block, to inhibit you from figuring out the truth or reaching a certain level where you could do something about the things that you found out. Okay? Let's say I'm a person, right? And I come into some knowledge or some information. And the gatekeepers are basically there to protect their organization, whether they're Mason, whether they're Eastern Star. And I want to say this because I thought about saying this before I actually recorded the video. To any Masons and Eastern Stars out there who I know personally, right? Any Shriners out there who I may know personally, right? This is no disrespect to you, okay? Because you got a lot of people who take your information and they take it personally. Like you're personally attacking them when you attack the organization that they're tied to. Okay? This is no personal attack on anybody at all. Okay? In fact, I probably used you to gain the knowledge that I have right now by sitting back and observing the things that you do, how you treat me, how you treat others, the facade you built up for yourself, the fake world that you built around you to insulate you from the truth being found out. But a true observer can look through and cut through all the bullshit facade. So this is no slight to you. This is no attack on you. This is more so a revealing, the veil being pulled off of organizations that put other organizations together to hold the true natives of this land back, okay? To hold them down, to keep the foot on their neck and things like that. And this is not the only country that's happened. This is not the only landmass where this is happening. In Cuba, this happened. Here in America, this happened. Where they put certain things at play in place to keep everybody dumb to the facts of what's going on. The facts of what's going on is you're put here to create. You're put here for something great. Your spiritual energy, your energy, your life force is being harvested. Okay? I don't want to attach it to any type of spiritual entities, right? But what I will say is that we are slaves. Not just mentally slaves. We're spiritual slaves. Okay? We're physical slaves. Physically, you are a slave. If you don't perform certain things, if you don't do certain things, if you're not the standard of what they want or what they want you to be, right? Or what they've wanted you to be, right? Then they won't let you get ahead. They'll try to block you from getting to where you're supposed to be. They'll try to block your blessings, basically. And that's a scary thought when you can fathom somebody actually being able to block your blessings, the blessings that you were meant to have in life. There's systems at place. There's organizations in place that block the blessings that you're supposed to have. Like they know when something's good coming to your life, and they can actually interject in something good happening in your life. We're talking about a system that can actually stop a paycheck from coming to your doorstep. And I don't mean that like, oh, well, they'll just make you lose your job or get you fired. No, they'll actually be able to see work that you put in actually about to pay you, some money about to come your way, right? So this way you can feed your family and continue on with your life and go do what you want to do. They can actually stop the mail from being delivered to your fucking house. They can stop you from getting the paychecks that you work for out of your own wherewithal, out of your own work and hard work and diligence, the shit that you put together, whether that be music, books, movies, whether that be a podcast, anything. They could block your emails. They could snatch down your email. They could do all of this stuff. Man, the slavery is definitely not just mental anymore. The slavery is all around you. The slavery is all around you at all times. The slavery now works on us through each other. The Willie Lynch theory is not just a theory that they used to enslave people way back in the day. The Willie Lynch theory is very much still alive. And I came to this realization because it's what they still do. They play skinny against fat. They play black against white. They play women against men. They play the children against the adults. They play my personality against your personality. They play my train of thought against your train of thought. They play a shell game with people who want to be in places with other people. They make sure that somebody can't see what you post. They can control whether you can like something on Facebook or Instagram or not. They can control whether you getting them followers. They control whether your videos are being viewed. They control pretty much all of this shit. They control your technology. They control all of that. Have you ever had a thought about something, and whether it was a person, place, or thing, and then you turned on your device, your phone or whatever, and next thing you know, the thing that you was thinking about is on your phone? That goes to show you that it's all tied together. Even your thoughts, the things that you go through, is not by mere coincidence. It's not. It's a game that's played against all of us. Few of us know about this game. The wealthies, the ones who control, the ones who are in power, the ones abroad, the ones that's not here in America to be susceptible to these games, have others that are here to put pieces in place so their games continue to be played without interruption. We help them when we tie ourselves to organizations and cult-like organizations. We help them enslave our very, well, this is what I thought. I thought that we helped them enslave our very own people. But it's not the case. You got people that come from different landmass, right? That pretend to be different, right? Because the Willie Lynch theory only works in places that's being oppressed, the oppression places. That's where Willie Lynch theory works at, because everywhere else they're with the game, they're hip to the game. That's why when people come here, they automatically get a line of credit. You know, they're automatically afforded housing and all this other stuff when they come from other countries and come here. Did you know that they have black people in Australia and black people? I mean, no. They have dark complected people in Australia and white complected people or light skinned people in Australia. You know how they like to play the black and white game? Let's play the black and white game for a moment. Okay? In Ireland, they have black people, they have white people. In Puerto Rico, Brazil, Hawaii, they have black people and they have white people. In Africa, would you believe, of all places, they got black people and they got white people. So you have Africans of multiple races, cultures, and ethnicities, right? Now, that goes to tell you that you have families that are both black and white. I come from a mixed family myself, so I know that we have, a black side and a white side, of course. Just like this shirt, black and white. And we get together, we amalgamate and shit like that, and make certain families. There's a lot of places that use this against Americans because we're naturally just divided. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, we're just naturally divided. And I think that's a game too. I think that's another thing that they use against us. That's one of their tricks to divide us. They use what I'm talking about now to divide us. What they do is they'll come from Scotland together. They'll send drones to their family, black and white. Even though they may have different last names, they may live differently, they still recognize each other as family, as being Scottish rites, right? Because they have different sets all over the place. They got different Masonic sets. You know what I mean? So they'll come and they'll have the blacks mingle with the blacks and the white Scottish rites mix with the white Scottish rites. They have the black Scottish rites mixed with the blacks, right? And they'll do this from all over the place. They'll send people from Africa. They'll have the African rights. I'm not sure what the name is called, what the set of the organization is called, but they'll send Africans over, black ones and white ones, and they're recognized as one family. They're like this. They're on the same accord. The whole thing is to infiltrate, populate, control, and take over different land masses, right? To keep the people of a certain landmass enslaved. It's a slavery game. It's been like this since the dawn of time. People want to control people because everything else is just fictitious. Everything else is just made up. It's people and there's people, right? You do have, spirits and, all of this, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about people controlling people. People from other land masses, other countries, other states, they all want to control where you're from. So we got countries that have people placed here, right, in America and on other continents too, in Cuba and all over the place. They have people that go and try to take over the population, try to use the population as batteries, as tools, as whatever they want to use them as. I got this person, Mickey Smith, keep talking about they want to send me a cash app. And I texted him this morning. I said, "Good morning, dickhead. You can send me that money if you want." But look, I'm just having fun with them. I don't give a fuck. But really, it's just people controlling people. So what they'll do is, to get a monopoly on your people, they'll have handlers deal with your family. They'll have handlers act as your friends. They'll have handlers act as your friends, community people, and everything. It's handlers all around us at all times. We just don't know. I remember one time I was taking bike rides and things like that, and I kept seeing this one particular guy for no fucking reason. I'm like, why do I keep running into this guy for no reason? It's just I keep running into this guy. That's because he was there to watch me, in a way. You know what I mean? And there to watch me. Just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a bloodline thing. I don't know. It's more so a population thing where they just want to control certain families, or keep an eye on certain families or whatever, or do things to maneuver or make sure that certain families can't get out of their grasp, out of their grip. Back to what I was talking about before. So what they do is, these different sets of the Masonic organization, right? They'll have blacks, they'll have whites. They'll send people from different sets all over the world, right, to your country and have them. One set will be in politics and the other set will be in the streets. Not in the streets like bad way in the streets, but just mingling with all different, how they say they got different tax brackets. How do you got middle class, lower class, and then you have upper class, and it's all different tax brackets. That's how they'll do it. They have people in with the lower class, in with the middle class, then they have people in with the high class, you know what I mean, as far as money wise, financial wise, or whatever. So this way they have people placed in every set, every economic, it's about economic diversity for them, and they want to control it all over all over the board. They want to control your entire environment. They want to do it with your electric company. They want to do it with the tax collection. They want to do it with your property, with your home and your housing and things like that. They want to do it through your mail system and all of that. So you have all of these different organizations, all these different places that we work for as regular people. We work for these organizations and entities. You know what I mean? If they choose to, they could cut your check off, even if it's not coming from them. Even if it's not them being able to fire you or get rid of your job or whatever, right? once you start trying to work for yourself or build the LLC, because one of the witches that was fucking with me for a while, she kept telling me to start an LLC and things like that. You know, I played with a lot of different people, and at the time when I was dealing with people, I didn't know exactly who they were. Um, but now I'm starting to, things are becoming more clearer to me, and I'm starting to see people for who and what they truly were and are. And you got a lot of witches. You got a lot of witches out here. You got people who do spirit cooking. You got people who deal with demonic practices. You got people here that deal with other entities that's not of this world. You got people that play both sides. Those are the ones that you'll interact with. Those are the handlers, the ones that's playing both sides, the ones that smile in your face, but all the time they want to take your place, the backstabbers. You know what I mean? It's really not about taking your place, though. It's about playing you out of your position. It's all about playing you out of your position. And we help them. We all help them because they put systems in place that'll help us hurt another person. One system in particular, I was looking online and there's a whole lot going on with the child support system right now. And I'm like, how could, I seen this one video and they called this guy a deadbeat dad because he didn't have the money to pay child support. But he still want his child. He still want his child. And the mom just would not give this guy his fucking child. So this guy happened to go to the barbershop and see another man in there, the stepdad. He happened to see another man in there getting his son haircut, and he go in there, not that he got a problem with the stepdad. I mean, he do, but the stepdad is just like a mediator. The stepdad is just there getting his son haircut, not the stepdad's son, the real father, who the mom won't let see the child. And the stepdad, the real father, is trying to take the child basically out the barbershop. And he wound up doing it because his son, he's supposed to be able to take his child. It's his child. He fathered this child. And he cared about this child. He loved this child. If he didn't, he wouldn't have went in the barbershop spazzing on the stepdad saying that this is my child. So the stepdad gets the mother on the phone, and the mother whole thing is, you ain't paying no child support. You ain't paid no child support and shit like that. And it's like, with this child support, maybe he just don't want to pay you, bitch. Maybe he just don't want to pay you. He just want his child because he know that you gonna take the money and you gonna fuck around with it. You gonna do something else with it. The system don't even give a fuck about a father just wanting to be a father. Like the system don't give a fuck if you lost your job or anything. They're still gonna send you bills. They don't give a fuck whether somebody set you up or whatever it is. They just want their fucking money. They want you to have their money. The money is a game, though. The money is a thing that they use to control you in your life. The money is how they get you to keep working and giving up your energy. Because as long as they got this electric grid around you, as long as we sitting up here playing this game and they, stealing our time and energy, they'll basically force you to go out and do a job that you don't want to do, something that's unhappy, something that's unworthy of your time, something that's unworthy of your talents, something unworthy of what you can actually produce in the world. And they'll rather see you work at this job and not become shit and just work towards making one of their institutions bigger, one of their outlets bigger for whatever reason. And that's what it is, man. That's what it is. It's a big ass Ponzi scheme. They're not here to help you. They're all here to hurt you. That's what I'm seeing. People in place that see you suffer, that can actually help you with just one phone call. They won't even help you by making that fucking phone call and making your life drastically better for you and your children because they're tied to these organizations. And that's where they get their power from. They get their power from having minions in many different places controlling many different things. setting your life up to go the way that they want it to go until you don't act accordingly. You know, it's if you don't do what they want you to do, they'll continue to fuck your life up, basically. If you don't do what they want you to do, they'll continue to fuck your life up, basically. They control whether you win a lawsuit or not. They control whether you get what you deserve in life if you're not tied to their organizations. They can set you up. They can blackball you from being able to join their organizations. They can, your own family, they can have your whole family switch up on you in the blink of an eye. You know, it's way above, it's way above the system of slavery that we've been previewed to. You know, the slave movies and everything that we see nowadays is merely just, them letting us know what we are and how we can free ourselves. You know what I mean? They basically keeping you in place, you know, basically telling you, implanting messages, implanting this stigma in your mind of what your people were, what's your rightful place, how they could always have their foot on your neck at any moment in time. And it's sad because we live by this. You know, we live by this, and we pay it so much attention, and we pay it so much time, and we give it so much reverence that it is deeply in something that's is ingrained in our children at this point. It's ingrained in people that they're like, okay, just because you're born here don't mean that you're of native blood. You could be born in America, and this is another trick they play, because they'll have people come from all over the place, right? Okay, if you're Chinese, right, and you come to America, right, man and woman, and you have a child in America, does that make those two Chinese people child an American, a Chinese American? No. They're Chinese who had a baby in America. They're still Chinese though, right? This is the game they play with a lot of us, all of us, because they'll have people come here and become $5 Indians and then take claim to the land that's here and then have children with people so that they can have claim to the land as well. And then those children have children with people, and they keep propagating and they keep doing the same thing till the lines are so blurred that you can't see who's really a native or not. You have the Scottish who come here, who play this game with you, right? Because they have black Irish and they have white Irish, right? You have black Africans and you have white Africans, right? And they play this shell game with you so deep that they kind of dishevel the people of this land. They dishevel and they distract and they take away and they extract what's rightfully the natives of this land, what's rightfully theirs. They'll take it and distribute it amongst their own people. They'll put their people in place to deceive you in many different ways and have you caught out there like, how come we have Indian reservations? How come we have Native American reservations? Right? It's like a reservation is for somewhere is for a species that's extinct, right? Or going extinct, right? That's what they make reserves for. When we look at wildlife, when we look at animals, normally you have a wildlife reserve because a population of animal is going extinct, right? This is why you have a reserve. This is why Native Americans have reservations, because the Native American population is going extinct. Now, what they like to do is they like to put a foothold on Native American blood, because this is America, and they still need that spirit here, right? They still need that spiritual energy here because it connects with the land. They can learn a lot from having people of Native American background here, right? But they don't want you to have too much. So they give you a reservation. They give you just enough to live, just enough. They give your people just enough to be able to get by and live, where they could keep feeding you resources. Not a lot. They don't never give you enough where you can actually build more and more and more. What they do is they give the fake Indians, they give the fake Native Americans, the $5 Indians, they give them the things to watch them grow. So it looked like a Native American is actually thriving in America. This is what they do. It's a shell game. It's a Ponzi scheme. I know people who aren't Native American at all, not one bit, run Native American, run businesses and have business in establishments under Native American pretenses, under Native American names. And they're not even Native American. You have Indians from India, and then you have people that they like to call Indians from here. You know, I don't know how people feel about the word Indian or Native, whatever, right? I don't like to get into semantics about that. But you have people who literally pretend to be other people. They're like gypsies. They'll sit up here and fake and pretend. They'll sit up here and build up a whole facade, man, and pretend to be something that they're not. When all along, they're they're in cohorts, or not cohorts, that was the wrong word, but they're conspiring against you together with the white people from the land that they're from, or the black people from the land that they're from. And it's basically that. You know what I mean? If you're a Native American person here, and I got to witness this firsthand, they want to rape you. They want to steal from you. They want to steal your children. They want to make sure that your children never get to be what they supposed to be. They want to make sure that they fuck your life up as much as possible if you're a true Native American, because that's what this video is really for. That's what this video is truly pointed at. You know, if you're a true Native American, if you're of Native American descent, they want to make sure that they keep a foot on your fucking neck in any way, shape, or form possible. They'll put people into your lives. They'll interject problems in your life. They'll have people just go against you for no fucking reason and everything like that. And even the ones who's pretending to be Native American, even the ones pretending to be your family, your friends, even the ones that's pretending to be your spouse, your wife, whomever it is, they'll have them fuck up your life too. That's why I'm not completely sure how they play this game, because I'm not behind the scenes, but I see how the pieces are moved. And we're the pieces. Us is having Native American blood. If you don't have Native American blood, I'm not talking to you right now, right? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who have Native American blood flowing through their veins. They put people in your life. That's why you got to be careful who you deal with. And I'm not racist by any way, shape, or form at all, right? But they put people in your life to fuck your life up. And the people who are fucking your life up doesn't even know they're being used as a tool, or maybe they do have some type of understanding what they're being used to do in your life. But a lot of times they don't, because they don't know how to think outside of themselves. A lot of us think so selfishly. A lot of us think me, me, me. You got to think about the collective, right? You always got to think about the collective. What impact is this having on my people? You know, what impact is this having on my child? Is this enlightening? Can I protect my child? Can I give my child wisdom? Am I properly caring for my child? Is this, is my brother okay? Is this gonna be beneficial for my brother? I don't want to do anything to hurt my brother. My woman, is this beneficial to her? Is this not beneficial to her? My family, is this beneficial to the We don't think like that in a lot of ways. We think, is this good for me? Is this good for me? Or and this is just conversation, man. I'm not, I'm just having this conversation with myself on podcast out loud for y'all to hear, for y'all to see, for y'all to be previewed to. This is not one of those things where I'm sitting up here actually trying to think an intellectual thought. I'm not. I'm just letting my spirit speak at this moment. I'm trying to put it all together for you, for myself, for my children. I'm trying to put it all together because this information is not information that you're going to find in books unless you in some type of secret society or some shit like that and they know what's going on. If you really listen to my video or my videos that I've been doing for a long time now, if you really decipher them and put them all together, put all the information together, you can clearly see what I'm talking about. You can clearly see that what I'm dealing with is something that's real, that's something that's true, something that you might not be able to see, something that seems unfathomable, but it's all fact-based. It's all fact-based. It's all dealing with facts. I'm not even a very serious guy. I'm not a very serious or literal guy. I like to have fun. This isn't fun. Having this discussion on this podcast, this shit ain't fun at all, man. I don't like to do this. I don't. This takes time out of me creating something, even though it's actually helping me create because I'm creating this podcast to deliver, for whatever reason, for whoever look at it, whoever wants to see it. But you got to realize I could be creating something different. This information I'm putting out here is not just for me. It's for people who's feeling like me and who's going through the same things I'm going through and who's going to see this and start to figure out things about their own situation. Somebody's going to see this and figure out what's going on with them. Like, why are they going through this? Is it spiritual? Is it physical? Is it some form of slavery that we're under? That's what it is, man. It's all the way around. It's an all the way around form of slavery. It's all the way around you. It's all the way around you, man. It's sad because I'm saying that, and a lot of you guys won't even understand what I'm trying to say because I'm not more educated or I don't speak so fluently. My video might start to get boring to you because it's not fluently spoken. You know what I mean? I'm not just spewing out the information. You know what I mean? And a lot of you'll miss the point or miss the facts that I'm delivering because it's not. But you got to get past. You got to get past my appearance. You got to get past my personality. You got to get past how I'm delivering the information and just take it for what it is. What I'm giving you is another piece of the puzzle, right? Because I might not be able to speak it so eloquently as a lot of folks. I might not have the same academic scholarships as many folks. But nonetheless, I'm here. I'm putting my truth out there. I'm putting a lot of your truths out there. I'm putting things on the line that a lot of people aren't willing to put on the line. I'm putting this system out there that's in place. A lot of people that know me and know what I'm going through and know who I'm talking about watch these videos. A lot of them. I'm exposing a lot of people. I don't even have to say any names. Even if I'm exposing you to you, that's fine with me. If you know who you are, then you know who you are. I know who you are. I know what's going on. I know how you're playing this game. What I'm trying to do is, to be honest with you, build up a level of inevitability so they can't come fuck with me anymore. I'm really done being fucked with. I'm really done playing the pussyfooting games. Like, for instance, I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody, but I put out a lot of music. I know I'm supposed to have checks that come to my house, that come to me, that get direct deposited, or checks that get delivered. However, by whatever means, right? But I'm not getting my checks. I'm not receiving the money from my books a lot of times. I know people looked into my books or read my books and things like that, but I'm not receiving my money. You know what I mean? And it's not about the money, even though it is about the money, because I need the money to live, because this is the system. In society nowadays, we need money. So I work and I do my things, not for anybody else, for myself and for my family. And I put my works out there so I can receive what I'm supposed to receive from my works, which is monetary value, i.e. money. Not that I'm putting money on a pedestal, because people watch these videos and say, oh, well, you talk about you don't need money, but he's on here talking about money. No, that's not what it is. I'm working for myself. I'm creating. When you create, when you produce, you're supposed to get something back. When you monetize something, you're supposed to get the monetary value for what you put out there. All right? When you monetize, you get monetary value back. And that monetary value is given back to you in the form of dollar bills, in the form of a check or a direct deposit, however you want to see it. They can block you, i.e. me, from getting the checks that you're supposed to get, from getting the direct deposit you're supposed to get, from making certain connections that you're supposed to make. After years of going through whatever it is you're going through, right? After years of doing whatever profession it is that you're doing, you're supposed to be paid quarterly, yearly, weekly, monthly, all of those type of things, right? They can literally hold you back from getting those checks. And I know, because I know that that's what they're doing in my case. I've been registered with certain systems, with certain organizations for a while now. I'm not putting out the organizations that I'm registered with, but I'm going to just say it's for music, it's for books, it's for podcasts, etc. Right? The whole thing is, I'm still not seeing any monetary value from this. Is it something that's being just stored away, or is this something that's being held back from me or something? Because you want to force me to continue to be a slave in the system that you built? You want to force somebody to continue to, for what? They don't want your truth to get out there. They don't want my truth to get out there. It's becoming more and more evident to me. You know what I mean? I like to think about what others went through, because I learn a lot from others' experiences, right? From what others go through, right? So this is what they do. Because there's been times when my grandmother was supposed to get lawsuits handled, that fell through. She never been able to get. It's been times when I remember Goo Boy. Goo Boy died. The one that they made, the cocaine, not cocaine cowboy. Excuse my language. Sorry about that. Concrete Cowboys. When they made that movie, my uncle's father, my uncle Tony, his father name is Goo Boy, right? He was one of the main people of that movie that they got somebody to portray in the movie, right? Who had the horse stables and everything. When he passed away, he left behind. Um, he had a will, a pension that was supposed to come to my grandmother. Well, do you know there was another Dorothy Brodus out there who actually stole my grandmother's information, who actually stole the how when somebody passed away they could leave their beneficiary. She actually pretended to be my grandmother and stole that from my grandmother. And they actually held my grandmother from being able to pursue getting her inheritance or her what was that? The it was will too. I forget the name. It eludes me right now. It escapes me. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. They can hold you back from getting stuff like it. It was times where there were accidents happen. One time, my grandmother went to the hospital. They did a procedure on her, and the procedure didn't go well. They did something to that wasn't supposed to be done, and my grandmother tried to sue for that. Lawsuit money, case money never came through for her because they never wanted my grandmother to get her just due. Just like one time you was hit by Pico Energy or something like that in the car. It was a car accident. They never got their lawsuit money for that. It was things that happened. There was plenty of times where my grandmother got into situations in her life. Things happened in her life where she tried to pursue a case or tried to pursue a lawsuit and she wasn't able to because they didn't allow her to. Maybe her handler, Alonzo Brown, didn't allow her to. You know what I mean? There was things that happened in my mother's life where she should have been able to sue and get her just due. She wasn't able to, right? This is what they do. They have families of interest. They have families of interest that they'll put together or they'll separate. And they'll exploit those families. They'll exploit you out of everything. They'll exploit your whole family. They'll choose a certain member of the family to exploit completely. And the rest of the family would just be looking at this person like they're black sheep or they're outcasts or they're just different and things like that, or they're crazy or whatever. But that's not the case. That person was chose to be exploited. That person was choose to be um, um, an outcast. That person was chose to play that role that he's playing, and it's not an act for them. They deem it a play. They deem it an act because it's what they push. They force certain things upon you in your life. If they want you to be, if they want you to be a person that has a life that don't really, I don't want to use the term. If they don't want you to have the finance that you need in your life, they cannot allow you to have it. Right? They will make sure that they put things in place to make sure that you don't gain the financial status that you need to live your life. Because they want a certain characteristic. They want a certain outcome. They want you to play a certain role for whatever reason. For whatever reason, they want you to play a certain role. They want a certain outcome for you. They want you to be made to suffer. They want you to be made to hurt yourself or hurt others, to commit suicide or kill yourself. They want you to crash out. They put people, places, and things in your life to just do nothing but constantly hurt you and constantly to bring you levels of depression, self-doubt. That's what they do. This is what they do. And it's evident to me. I'm not just here spewing this shit. I'm not just here saying this shit. It's evident to me because these are things that I go through. These are things that I've been previewed to by just observing, just by being observant, not just of my life, but of my mother's life, being an observer of uh, being an observer of my grandmother's life, being an observer of my mother's life, being an observer of my father's life, whatever siblings I have life, different things that I'm watching, different things that I'm looking at. It's like I'm just made to observe all this shit. And I'm seeing clearly what it is. Certain people made certain things way more clearly. You know, I had a person that I turned to for help tell me that I could just kill myself. And still have me around and try to have me around. A person really told me that I could kill myself. You know that thing that Terrence Howard is talking about, how he says that life doesn't end. After this life, there's a new beginning and it goes on and goes on. Yeah, that's true, but you're never supposed to just abort your life. Suicide is like one of the ultimate sins, as far as I know. But what do I know, right? But suicide is something that you're not supposed to do because it's a disease that you pass on to your loved ones. If you was to hurt yourself, that would be telling your children or your loved ones that it's okay to hurt themselves. That's why it's not okay to do. Just like a rape victim. A lot of people who's been raped and things like that, who has been molested when they was younger, they more than likely turn into a rapist or a molester themselves, right? That's because it's a disease. It's a disorder. And once you get infected with that type of disorder, once somebody does that to you personally, then it becomes something in your mind where it's easy to do that to somebody else. If you're not strong enough to fight those type of thoughts. Because you already know, especially when you know that it's an illness, that it's a disease that somebody gave to you, that somebody put on you, not gave to you, because you could choose to not go that route. Like me, I would never choose to rape or molest or hurt anybody in that manner because that's been done to me before. I've been a victim of molestation when I was younger on numerous accounts. I've been molested. You know what I mean? I've been raped in my life. You know what I mean? Sometimes it was permitted, sometimes it wasn't permitted. But I've been a victim of rape and molestation, right? And it's like, it don't make it right just because you're a participant in it. Just because it happened to you, or you might be a young man getting raped by an older woman or molested by an older woman, it don't make it right just because you're a willing participant. It's still molestation. It's still rape. And especially not good if it's a man doing it to a little boy or a little girl or something like that. It's not cool. But we put the stigma on that type of stuff. Like, I digress. I don't want to talk about that too much. But with the suicide thing, it's the same thing. Once somebody does it, it's like you put it in those people's lives. So certain things that we can't do as people because it'll pass that same ill state of mind, that ill way of thinking on to somebody you love. So you can't never do that. But I even had the same person that said to me that you could go ahead, you could, you know, press the off button or press the reset button or kill yourself or something like that. The same person um, dangle opportunities in my face. Dangle opportunities in my face. You know, opportunities that would have been very lucrative for me. Dangle opportunities in my face and personally hand me a book talking about slavery after they purposely had me in a place where they could have gave me an opportunity and they didn't give me an opportunity. And then show me a book about slavery as the rub it in my face, as if to say, this is what this is. This is slavery. This is where they're trying to keep you at. because you have a certain bloodline, because you are a certain person. This is basically where they, because I could read between the lines. So that's what basically they was doing. It was basically rubbing in my face that I have Native American blood in me, or I have a certain bloodline in me that they want to control or contain as a slave. They don't want to set me free. They don't want to see me get my just due. Because a lot of times, the powers that be don't want to give you what they owe you. Because if they did give you what they owe you, there would be no more them. Right? If I was to gain whatever my grandmother left for me, right? Whatever my grandmother was to leave for my mother, if I was to gain any of that, right? Because my mom had this thing where she would talk about, and I thought my mom was crazy for a long time, but she not. If I was to gain the inheritance that my mom's been chasing for so long, if I was to gain any inheritance from my grandmother, right? If I was to gain any of that, right? If I was to gain any inheritance from my family, period, that we were supposed to amass, then would Philadelphia still be Philadelphia? What is Philadelphia hiding from natives of this land? What is Philadelphia hiding from natives of this land? They don't want to give it back because if they gave it back, they wouldn't have no more power. They wouldn't have any more power if this land was taken back to whom it was originally from. A lot of us have bloodlines that's attached to this place, and they don't want to give you what's rightfully yours because that will let you know too much. That will let you know the inherent royalty that's within your bloodline, that's in your DNA. They don't want you to know who you really are. They don't want to know what you really have in store for you. They never want you to get your land back. They never want you to get your land back. They never want you to get what your grandmothers and your forefathers had at one point, that your great-great-grands had at one point, that they tricked them out of through paper genocide. This is what they do to us on a daily basis out here. Even with child support, even with the jail system, with the legal system, they perform paper genocide on you. And they either get you locked up in jail or they get you to make bad decisions in your life that's going to end you up dead. So this way they ain't ever got an answer for the bad shit that they did to your family's life. As long as they could control and kill the lineage of people that they done wrong, they don't never have to answer for the wrong they done. Because they're going to just continue the same process and continue to have you kill yourself, continue the process of having you kill others, continue the process of them committing paper genocide on you because we sign off on paperwork so easily without reading anything. They use our nature against us and women and have our women set our lives up. They have our women pretend to love us and then years later divorce us or something like that so that way they can put you on child support or have you getting divorced and taking all your shit. I see famous people, man. I see famous people. The boy Sherman, what's his name is, and he Tiana Taylor, I think they divorced or whatever. Maybe I'm using the wrong names completely. I don't know. But she got all this shit from this guy and they both rich. Like, why you gotta divorce a nigga and take all his shit from him? Take him for $8,000 a month, a ridiculous ass amount of money, all of this other extra shit, houses and all this extra shit. When you rich too. She don't even need all that. It's just a game, man. They play our women against our men. That's one of the biggest tricks against us. They play our women against our men. And it start when our young ladies are young. It start off when our young men and our young women are young, man. They play us all against each other. It's all a device, it's all a scheme to keep us divided. The more we're divided, the more they conquer. That's the name of the game, is divide and conquer. That's the name of the game, is divide and conquer. And they're playing this game They're playing it immaculately. I could say that. They're playing this game immaculately. It's divide and conquer. And they use the people, places, and things, the people you love, the people you interact with. They put handlers in your life and everything. And these people, they would never admit to the things that they do to you in your life. They'll never come out and say, yeah, I'm being used as a handler in your life or things like that, because they take these oaths. They take certain oaths and things like that. And they take those oaths very seriously. You know, I don't even think the oaths is taken in this realm, in this world. I think these oaths are taken somewhere else, because they'll never speak on it. They'll never speak of it. I believe that reincarnation thing is very true. And what they do is the soul or the spirit who took this oath will basically reincarnate into another body, another being, and it'll just keep coming back, and it'll just have its instructions. It'll know exactly what it's supposed to do, because it was never talked about here. It was never divulged here. It's veiled up. It's veiled, because right now we're under a veil. We're in a veil. Until that veil is lifted and everything's exposed, and I believe that maybe the veil is once you pass away. Once you pass away onto the next life, that's the veil being lifted, and then you're able to see the truth about the whole thing that's been happening around you. Everything that's been happening around you will get revealed once you uncover the veil, and the veil is death. Once death happens, once that death takes process of this body, and your soul gets released, once that energy gets released back into the creator, then all will be revealed. All is there now. You know what I mean? All is like boom. It's like, it's a deep thing, man. It's a deep thing. It's just a game that's really hard to describe, because it's real life to us. You know, they say that they're about to deliver more artificial intelligence into a video game called Sims that will basically make the video game Sim. If you ever played the Sims game, Sims 3D and all that, it's basically like a top-down view of these people living their lives, and you can play and get a job and do all this stuff. That'll basically make that into a real world on basically a DVD. Billy Carson was talking about it, and a lot of other people. And it's like, maybe they use this as like a Sims video game. Maybe people with money can control the masses just like they're playing Sims. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm mad as shit. I'm hurt. Like, I'm beyond pissed. I'm mad. I'm hurt. I'm disheveled, because that was Concept. That's my song right there. I like that joint. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite joints I made right there. Concept, and that joint Free. I love them too. I love all my music. You know, I admit, I got some work to do on my music. You know what I mean? I got, because sometimes it comes from a place where sometimes I'm creating music when I don't even feel like creating music. I'm be honest with you. So a lot of my music, some of my music, I'm not going to say a lot of it. Some of my music, I got to redo and revamp. But at least I'm getting the message out there. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I don't give a fuck whether you like it, whether you don't. It's still coming out. It's still being released. That means I'm still monetizing it. That means I'm still supposed to be getting paid from it, right? That part. But but I forgot where I was at. Forgot what I was talking about for a moment. They play this game, and really, it's not a game for me. I'm upset that After all this time, after all the things that I've been through, after all the bullshit, man, after all the evidence that I've been putting together, all the detective work, all of the soul searching, all of the personal growth, all of the suffering that I've been going through, that nobody still won't help out. Nobody has said anything, done anything. In fact, they tried to get me to be quiet about the situation. In fact, they're trying to shut me up. They're trying to shun me and make me paint me out to be something that I'm not. And they just won't help. After you find out the truth, they should help you out. After you find out the truth about your situation and a lot of other situations, they should help you out. FBI, CIA, I've been reaching out to everybody. I've been reaching out to the masses, to the public out here on this fucking podcast, man, and nobody has reached out to me to help me out in no way, shape, or form. That's the part that really got me fucked up right there. It's like you putting all this time and energy into doing this thing, man, into exposing what needs to be exposed. You're exposing the truth, you know, because you got a lot of people out here that is so-called exposing things, but they're not really exposing anything at all. They just giving you more of what you know. I'm trying to give you information that's not regularly available, that's not readily available. I'm giving you information that you only could stumble across if you're previewed to certain things happening in your life. If they put you through certain things in your life, then you know this information. It's embedded in you. You probably haven't figured it out yet. You probably haven't put all the pieces of the puzzle together. But if you've been going through the things that I've been going through, if you really sat back and calculated and just not be judgmental and just observe your life and the life of the people around you and notice what's going on and notice the game that's being played and come across this information that you only could, this information can only be deciphered through you, right? Through your understanding and through the awakening that you having, right? And you putting that out there to the masses and people still aren't showing more support or appreciation or even sympathy or empathy for what you're going through on a personal level. On a personal level, all my property has been stolen from me. On a personal level, all my property has been stolen from me. I've been running around with the same fucking clothes on for so fucking long. When I have a nice little wardrobe of clothes, I have things that I could have sold to really just buy a plane ticket to get the fuck out of here somewhere. I have, you know, big ass TV, AC unit, the stand up AC unit. I got a room full of shit, firearms, all types of shit that I could have just pawned away, sold, and things like that so I could just at least get a plane ticket or a bus ticket to get the fuck out of here, right? People see me on a daily basis, right? And know that I'm going through the situation and know exactly what I'm dealing with. And nobody won't help. Like, all I ever been was good to people. All I ever did was help people. Whenever anybody needed a helping hand, I was there for them. Whether that was a friend, whether that was a stranger, whether that was somebody who needed help at their business that they trying to run, whether that was somebody that needed help with some type of music that they was doing, whether that was somebody that needed help in the household that they was living at, whether that was somebody that needed help at the job that they was working or whatever, I always was a person that would help out others. I was always a person, and I am always a person that's been giving. But yet, I can be made to go through all of this shit with people that set my life up and nobody ever extended any type of help to me. Nobody ever extended any type of help to me while I'm going through all of this shit. Besides my in-laws, you know. And it's like, you know, but my in-laws, they actually gave me a place to stay, you know, allowed me to stay at their place. And it's like, you know, I'm suffering here. I'm still suffering. I try to put on a good face every day. I try to, you know, put my best foot. I try to put my best foot forward on a daily basis. But yet and still, I'm left to suffer. I'm left to be subject to all this bullshit where people out here just won't help at all. And I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. This part of it is just, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do. You know, shit sad, man. Shit is so fucking sad. That's why all I can do is teach my kids and try to let them know that they really gonna have to do for self. That they're really gonna have to, you know, start doing whatever it is that they want to do with their life at a young age. At times it's not gonna be fun. At times you're not gonna want to. But you got to do what you want to do with your life. Because if you live your life for anybody else, if you live your life trying to help out others, if you live your life just trying to, people will leave you in a fucked up place. People will leave you in a fucked up place. Your family, your friends, your community, all of them. If you don't have nothing, or even if you have something, if you're trying to build something, they will not want to help you. And that's fucked up. Because I always was the type to help other people. I'm always the type to help other people. But in my times of need, when I'm really going through something, family, friends, community, all turned they fucking back on me, man. All turned they back on me. You know? My struggles is my testimony, man. You know, my struggles is my testimony. You know, I'm still going to strive. You know, I'm still going to do what I was put here to do. I'm still going to work hard and try to make something, you know, and try to build something. I'm starting late, and that's because I lived my life in a totally different way before a few years ago happened. I'm living my life in a totally different way. I lived my life for a long time just trying to help others or just trying to provide. And that foundation was snatched from me. You know, that foundation was snatched from me. Now I'm building up this new foundation. But this new foundation is constantly being chipped away at by people who don't want me, who don't want to see me have a new foundation. By people that want me to just lay down and die or something. When I refuse to. I refuse to just lay down and die. I refuse to just be silent about the whole matter. I see a lot of people wearing these silent, like be quiet. They do shit like that. Like, what does that mean? Open your fucking mouth. Open your mouth. Speak your truth. Who the fuck are you being quiet for? Who the fuck are you being silent for? Like, seriously, I see a lot of people doing that shit, man. Niggas is retarded. Y'all niggas is retarded. Y'all niggas is retarded. And the only reason you talking about be quiet or doing all the silent shit, doing this, because you scared. You scared to let your truth out there. You scared to speak against an oppressive system that you living under. Cause you fearful of something. You fearful of something. Fear your fucking self. That's who you need to fear. The only person you need to fear is you. You're not even supposed to fear God. God is man-made. The creator. He's above all of this shit. The creator. Fear the creator. Don't even fear the creator. Work with the creator. Because the creator would never want you to fear him. The creator would never want you to fear him. The creator don't want you to be a fear-based type of person. If there's any fear in you, it's built by the institution, by the organizations that want to hold you back. If there's any fear in you, it's built up just from that. And they built it up. They can have a person instill fear in you. Sometimes it's our own family members, our own parents, our own grandparents, or whomever. Instill a certain level of fear in you, right? Or don't say that, don't do that type of fear, right? Because they want to see you live. They want to see you be complacent so you could just go about and live a happy, normal life. But there's nothing about our lives that's normal. You walking in your truth, you coming into you coming into your spiritual awakening or whatever, and noticing things around you are different or skewed in such a drastic fucking way. There's nothing normal about that. There's nothing normal about that. There's nothing normal about you living the life that you live, especially if it's filled with so much twist and so many turns and so many intricate details and so many things out there that's been bothering you or attacking you in a spiritual way, in a physical way, in a mental way. If there's things out there that's attacking you in these different ways, you have to speak up about it. You can't be quiet about it. You can't. You can't be quiet about it. When you come into this realization, when you come into this spiritual realization, when you come into this mental realization, when you come into this physical realization of who you are and what's going on in the environment around you and how it's being manipulated, you can't be quiet about that. Now I'm about to take you in the left field. I really do believe that these are aliens that we're dealing with, that work on us through other people. When they say that they walk among us like regular people, that's what I believe. I believe that there are aliens walking among us like regular people. There are aliens that have technology that's greater than the technology that we have, that control us, that control our energy, and that control our time, and that uses as batteries to keep their system going. I believe that they manipulate our lives and they control our lives in a lot of fucking ways, man. And they'll have you blame yourself. They'll have you blame yourself. They'll have you blame your loved ones because they can manipulate your loved ones and the people that you love to do these things to you in your life. That's what I believe. I believe that the people who own all of these companies and corporations, the bigwigs that own Pico Energy, that own the real estate companies, that own Scepter, that owns the police force, that owns the FBI, that owns the CIA, that owns that's the head of the presidency and all that type of shit. I believe that those people are or in contact with beings that's not of this world, that control our energy, that control our time, that control us, the essence of who we are. That's what it all boils down to. Like, that's what I really see out here, man. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame because through all the control techniques, all the control tactics, we still just want to be free. I may not be like you and you may not be like me, but damn it, I want to be free. We should all be afforded a level of freedom. We should all be afforded our 15 minutes of fame. We should all be afforded that shot to see what do we have. We should all be afforded a good life, man. We should all be